Welcome back to Zarek Podcast. So far, we've covered procurement methods, how procurement is done, stakeholders, who is involved. Now we move to a very critical question. How do we decide who to buy from? Because no matter how good your procurement method is, if you choose the wrong supplier, everything fails. Let's start with a simple situation. You are at Greater Accra Regional Hospital, RAGE. The hospital needs medicine, laboratory reagents, medical equipment. Several suppliers submit bids. Now, the big question is, how do you know which supplier to choose? Do you just pick the cheapest, or the fastest, or the most popular? This is where supplier assessment and selection comes in. What is supplier assessment? Supplier assessment is the process of evaluating suppliers to determine their ability to meet the organization's requirements. This means checking whether a supplier can deliver on time, provide the right quality, meet the required quantity, and do so at a reasonable cost. Where do suppliers come from? Before you assess suppliers, you must first identify them. Organizations usually get suppliers from previous supplier records, supplier database, tendering processes, recommendations, and online platforms. So procurement does not start with evaluation. It starts with identification of possible suppliers. What exactly are we assessing? Now, this is the most important part. When evaluating suppliers, we are not just looking at one thing. We are looking at multiple factors. Let's break them down clearly. 1. Cost. Price. Cost. This is often the first thing people think about. But here is the key point. The cheapest supplier is not always the best supplier. You must consider affordability and value for money. 2. Quality. Can the supplier meet the required standards? For example, are the medicines safe? Are the materials durable? Poor quality can lead to waste, risk, and poor service delivery. 3. Lead time. Delivery time. How fast can the supplier deliver? And more importantly, can they deliver on time consistently? Short lead time improves flexibility. Reliable delivery reduces shortages. 4. Capacity. Can the supplier handle the required quantity? For example, can they supply 10 units? Can they supply 1,000 units? Capacity determines whether the supplier can meet demand. 5. Reliability. Does the supplier keep their promises? Do they deliver on time, meet requirements, fulfill contracts consistently? Reliability is built from past performances. 6. Technical capability. Does the supplier have the right equipment, skilled personnel, technical knowledge? This is especially important for specialized goods. 7. Financial stability. Can the supplier sustain operations? A financially weak supplier may fail to deliver and delay production. 8. Past performance. Has the supplier worked before? What was their performance like? This helps predict future reliability. 9. Compliance and certification. Is the supplier legally registered, certified, compliant with standards? This ensures legitimacy and quality assurance. How are suppliers assessed? Now let's look at how assessment is actually done. That is there. Step 3. So step 1, we looked at where they come from. The step 2, What exactly are we assessing? And 3, how are suppliers assessed? Now let's look at how this assessment is actually done. 1. Competitive bidding, that is tender evaluation. This is the most common method. Suppliers submit bids and the evaluation panels compares them, scores them, selects the best. 2. Supplier audits. The organization may visit the supplier's facility to check operations, production capacity, and quality processes. 3. Site visits. This allows verification of physical existence, working conditions, and technical capability. 4. Performance records. Past records are reviewed to check delivery history, reliability, and consistency. 5. References. Feedback from previous clients is used to assess credibility. 6. Pre-qualification. Before procurement, suppliers are screened and shortlisted. Only qualified suppliers are allowed to participate. Now let's move to the step 4, which is the final decision. From what we've learned in our slides and notes, 3 key factors guide the final decision. That is cost, quality, and lead time. These must be balanced. For example, a cheap supplier with poor quality is risky. A fat supplier with high cost may affect budget. So procurement is about balancing trade-offs. Step 5. Risk in supplier selection. If supplier assessment is poorly done, it can lead to delays in delivery, poor quality products, stocks out, financial losses. In healthcare, this can result in poor patient care. Step 6. Now we are bringing everything back to the hospital. At Bridge Hospital, if the wrong supplier is selected, medicines may expire, equipment may fail, treatment may be delayed. But if the right supplier is selected, services improve, efficiency increases, and lives are saved.